guys, welcome to episode 8 of the Purl Passion Podcast. I am now excitedly coming to you from my brand new laptop. So I'm a few minutes late starting here just because I'm kind of getting used to the new setup here. And because last time I clicked go live, my husband answered a phone call. So I had to end it quickly and then, start over. It's all good. But yeah, I now am in my dining room, living room, kitchen. It's all in one. But yeah, so I actually have like natural light and like I'm not in the dungeon, which is exciting. So yeah, this is my new setup for now. But eventually I will have like my craft room back and I'll actually be able to have a space where I can, have a nice background. And right now this is just kind of the back of my house and my star sign thing, my back deck and my window. But yeah, eventually I'll have a space where I can record, which will be nicer. But for now, at least this is better than the dungeon. So we're going up a step. We're taking a step up anyway. So yeah, it's been 2 weeks since last podcast. I guess a lot has happened. It feels like every time I come to podcast, it feels like way more than 2 weeks has gone by, but it's only been 2 weeks. But lots has happened. I got vaccinated, which was exciting. Although I'm not sure whether or not the vaccination was the exciting part or the fact that I got to leave my house for the first time in like forever, which was kind of exciting. My husband came home and took care of the kids, and I drove to the pharmacy and got vaccinated and drove back. It was all exciting. It was the first time I left my house. So yeah, that happened. That was exciting. I got my new computer. That was exciting, which you guys didn't see the pictures. I'll have to put a picture I put a picture of my story of it, but I'll have to put a picture of my feed. It's actually a gold MacBook, which is exciting. It's kind of cool. You don't see a lot of gold MacBooks out there, which I thought was different. And I have the gold iPhone. So I was like, I'm going to get the gold MacBook to go with my phone. So yeah, now I have a gold MacBook and it actually, works and I can go live and it doesn't just kick me off every time. So that's super exciting. But the last couple days here have been beautiful. We might get a thunderstorm tonight, so I'm kind of waiting to see if that's going to roll in. But it's been in the high 20s last couple days. I think today was like 29 degrees outside. So yeah, it was lovely. I went for a walk with my kids. Quick one because I forgot to put sunscreen on my son, so I don't want to get a sunburn because he's pasty white. Mother's Day happened since we last podcasted, so I hope you guys all had a happy Mother's Day. I had a good Mother's Day. Got to sleep in a little and did some knitting outside, which was lovely. My son made me a flower out of a pine cone, which was awesome. And the one thing that I asked for Ellery for Mother's Day is I told her that I would really appreciate it if she didn't puke on me on Mother's Day. But by about 8:30, she had puked on me, so I gave up on that dream. But yeah, I'm still going with trying to eliminate dairy from my diet, which is really difficult, actually. It's not the easy thing to eliminate, especially since I already have a kid who's allergic to peanuts and eggs, so I can't have those. But so it's been about 2 weeks now that they said that I should do it for about 2 to 3 weeks. So I'll keep going. I don't know if I necessarily see a huge difference in Ellie. I think she's still puking just as much as she used to. So I might have to look into getting her some medicine for acid reflux, but we'll see where that goes. I've been spending a lot of time the last couple weeks playing Minecraft with my son. So a lot of time that I normally would have been necessarily knitting and watching him play Minecraft, he's been handing me a controller and insisting that I help him. So I've kind of gotten back into playing a lot of Minecraft in the last couple of weeks, which has really been fun. My son loves it. He's kind of super excited about it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he just turned 4, and he is obsessed with Minecraft, which is kind of funny. But I don't think most 4-year-olds even know what Minecraft is. But I was telling my husband that we should start a YouTube channel just so that people could hear what he says when he plays, because it's hilarious. Just his commentary of what he's doing and his thought process behind how he's building things, and it just cracks me up. But yeah, Ellie's doing good. Every time I seem to post a picture on Instagram of her, it like goes viral, which is kind of funny because I've now realized that people don't actually on my Instagram want to see pictures of me or my knitting or my designs or yarn. They actually just want to see pictures of my baby, which is cool. She's a cute baby. But I think like the picture of her I posted yesterday got like 34 shares. I don't know how I feel about people sharing pictures of my daughter, but I don't know. I guess it's fine. She's a baby. She's cute. It's a great picture of her. I try to think like, when I post pictures of my kids, I try to think like, okay, if my kids see this in 20 years, are they going to be embarrassed by it? Is it something that's going to embarrass them later in life if it stays out there in the internet world? Or is it something that they're just going to be like, oh yeah, I look cute in that picture? So I try to be really careful of what I post online of my kids, but the picture of Ellie yesterday was too cute. I had to post it, and then I think like 20,000 people saw it or something like that. So that was kind of crazy. So yeah, apparently maybe if I just bring her on the podcast every week, I'll get more subscribers, but I'm not going to do that because yeah, seems like, using your children, but so yeah, I'm not going to do that unless she cries, and then I can't help it, but I might have to feed her or something. But right now, she's just right there, sleeping on the floor, on like a mat, not like on the floor. I don't just like chuck my baby on the floor, but she's sleeping on like a cushion play mat thing. It's her favorite place to sleep, so she's there. But yeah, this last couple weeks, I don't even remember how long it's been now. This is how little sleep I've been getting, and how time just seems to, I don't know, not even go by. I don't even know how much time has passed, but my sugarcane farm hat pattern came out, and I just want to thank everyone who purchased that. 100% of the proceeds are going to be going to a girl by the name of Brittany, and you can check her out on Instagram. Her Instagram handle is @bornwithasnowman, and she is currently in the hospital awaiting a heart bilateral lung transplant. So that's a heart and 2 lungs. That's terrifying to me. So yeah, if you guys are interested in purchasing the pattern, the proceeds are going to be going to her for the first month, mostly because after that I just didn't want to have to try and keep track of all of be able to, keep sending money. So I just did it for the first month, and then, yeah, so I would prefer if you bought it in the first month so that I could get the money to Brittany. But yeah. So yeah, I wanted to thank everybody who purchased that pattern, and I'm going to be sending that money to Brittany. I think I have to go back and check and see what day I release that pattern. But it'll probably be a couple of weeks still that it'll be on sale, and the proceeds will still go to her. So if you're still interested in purchasing that pattern, you can go and check out my Ravelry, and yeah, it's there for purchase. It's only, I think I put it up at $3, so it's a cheap pattern. I just wanted to, help Brittany rid some money because she's been on my Instagram, and I just have been thinking, about her and watching her posts, and she kind of, got my attention. And then, it just felt like I wanted to help her because I can't even imagine how stressful that would be to be in the hospital waiting for heart bilateral lung transplant. That just sounds terrifying to me, and she must be an extremely brave person. I also wanted to mention that this last week I have found something that I really need to buy, but don't have enough money for it. If you guys are following Mother Purl on Instagram, she recently got what's called a dream box. And if you've ever seen this thing, it is the coolest thing I've ever seen, and I really need one. But it's super expensive, and I can't afford it right now. But someday I will be able to afford it, and I will buy one. But it's like, it's a cabinet, and when you open the doors, it like folds out into like 3 different pieces. So, well, not 3 different pieces, like 3, it folds out 3 times, so then it, like, turns into this giant, like, a wall of shelves, and then there's, like, all these, plastic bins that you can organize everything into. Basically, it's like a crafter's dream closet, and it just opens up, and it's on wheels, so you can kinda, like, move it all around, and you can put up part of it, and there's, like, a table that folds down. Anyways, you guys need to go check it out. You can check it out. I'm just gonna make sure that that's exactly her handle here. Hold on. So yeah, oh, you said it's Lauren, and her handle is at Mother of Purl, Purl, L1 is her handle, and the dream box you can find. Let me see what the website is here. It's an American company, but they do ship to Canada and other places. But they have a like an affiliate site for it. Let me just find it. So yeah, it's by a company called Create Room. I don't know if I can kind of show you. You kind of really can't see that, can you? Oh yeah, you can. Cool. Check that out. Isn't that just like a crafter's dream closet? It like opens up and folds out in 3. Yeah. Anyways, you guys should check it out. And if you're interested in purchasing one, or if you're lucky enough to be able to purchase one, then yeah, definitely do, because I want one and I'm jealous. Send pictures because I want to see how you organize it, because that would be like my dream, being able to organize all my knitting stuff in there. Someday. But yeah, this week I was hoping to have a finished object to show you guys, but I don't. I was really, really close to having half a finished object. Like I said, I haven't done a lot of huge amount of knitting the last couple weeks, but I got some progress done on my husband's socks. This is the colorway is Diamond Sword by Area 51 Fibers, and I'm just finishing the ribbing at the top, and then I will have one full sock completed. So yeah, I'll be able to show you guys that, at least one for sure, next podcast. My husband's kind of finicky about how his socks fit, so he wanted me to make sure that the top part goes high enough and that it is tight enough, because you can't really blame him. Who wants, socks that continuously fall down? He drives him crazy. So he wanted me to make sure that they don't fall down. So yeah, I'm going to do quite a little bit of ribbing just to make them tall enough for him, and make sure that they kind of are snug on his leg so that they stay on. But yeah, that's the first sock. Yeah, self-striping yarn. I love this yarn. It's super pretty. I'm especially addicted to this color. I love it. It's so bright and so vibrant. I'm starting to lose my light now because it's 8 o'clock at night here, but at least it's better than being in the dungeon, because you guys can actually see the colors down here, or up here. So yeah, that's not quite a finished object, but almost half a finished object. But yeah, I'm kind of working on that. And I also have been working on my So Faded sweater, which is by Andrew Murray. So Dre Renee Knits on Instagram, and it looks like this. So yeah, I picked a few colors. I showed you guys my last podcast. Progress I've made, and I haven't made too much progress. I'm almost at the bottom of it's hard to see with but it has like a detail, like these are the sleeves. The sleeves are like, it's a raglan construction. Let me see if I can kind of hold it so that you can see the raglan decreases there. So this is the sleeve part. It's got like a garter detail on the sleeve, and then the collar is picked up later and knit and ribbing. So you can't see the collar yet. So it's just a raw edge there. But yeah, I'm almost to the edge of the yoke, and I absolutely love this color. I have probably half a ball left still, and I want to keep going as excited as I am to get into the next color for the fade, I really want to keep going because I really just love this color. This is, I think it's called Succulent, and it's by Direwolf Yarn Co. And I purchased that a while back. But yeah, it was a one-of-a-kind color, I believe. So it's like a teal-y, and it's got purples and blues and greens, and yeah, super pretty. So yeah, I wanted to use as much of it as I can. So I'm going to keep going until I start to get near the bottom, because I'm going to have to go back and use it for the collar. Because I think I want the collar too, the same color as the first part of it. So I'll have to save enough to go back and do the collar. But I am super excited to get into the first fade, because that's the exciting part of the sweater. The actual construction of it is just a basic, has a little bit of a garter detail on the sleeves, but other than that, it's just a basic stockinette sweater. So the exciting part is, working on the fades. So yeah, I can't wait to see how the fades look. I've kind of tested them out on a little swatch, but you never know how it's going to look really until you start knitting in the sweater. Oh yeah, I should show you guys this. See if I can hold it up to the camera here without my stitch marker. It's a sloth. Isn't that adorable? My husband got this for me at the Naked Sheep in Regina, which is the closest local yarn store to me. And it is a stitch marker by, let me see, Charmed. I have to remember the name of the company now. It's just eluding me. Charmed Dreams. And their Instagram handle is Charmed Dreams Warman, and they are a Saskatchewan company. And they do lots of cute little stitch markers and stuff. You should check them out. But I'll link their Instagram handle in the comments, in the description box below here, so that you guys can check them out if you want. But yeah, this is the cutest little sloth ever. I love it. My son loves it too. He's kind of obsessed with it. Every time he sees it, he's like, oh, it's a sloth. So yeah, he loves it too. But yeah, like I said, I haven't been doing a huge amount of knitting the last couple of weeks, but I have been doing a whole lot of yarn dyeing. I purchased a 20-pack of bare fingering weight skeins of yarn from Knit Picks, and I was going to just play around with dyeing and kind of see what I could come up with. And I wanted to have it be something me and my son could do together. So I wanted to just use, I didn't want to do acid dyes or anything, because I just wanted it to be, kind of safe and for him to be able to do. So I thought it would be a nice craft for us to kind of be able to do together. So I picked up some food coloring. I ordered it from Walmart and went and picked it, did the curbside pickup, because I'm too scared to leave my house and actually go into a store. So, so I got curbside pickup, and that was fun. So yeah, we dyed some skeins of yarn, and I can show them to you. This was the first one we dyed, and I am terrified of using any kind of coloring in my kitchen, because I have white countertops and I love my white countertops, and I paid a lot of money for them. This is a townhouse, and when we moved into this townhouse, we got to kind of customize it, as it wasn't built yet when we bought it, so we got to kind of customize what we wanted in it. And I went and kind of paid a lot of money for these white countertops, because I was obsessed with these white quartz countertops. So yeah, I want to keep all dye out of my kitchen. So I bought a used crock pot, and I was gonna dye in that. So I soaked the yarn in some vinegar and kind of just used food coloring. And for the first skein, I just let me and my son just kind of took the food coloring and just literally squirted it everywhere. Kind of flipped around a little, squirted it some more, and this is what it came up with. So this is, I'm terrible at making skeins out of these, but I'll unwind it because I kind of wound them up quickly after I was taking photos of them the other day. So yeah, this is what it came out like. It's super bright colors. They're kind of just like everywhere. It's like a mishmash of colors. And there's like no rhyme or reason to it. It's just like a crazy. Someone needs to teach me how to like properly skein. If anybody has like tips and tricks to properly like winding these things up into it, like this is how I do it. It literally just like, and then I kind of just like, there. It kind of looks like a skein, right? But I really, yeah. So somebody needs to like send me some sort of tutorial on how to properly skein yarn up by hand because I'm terrible at it. But yeah, that same day, we made 4 skeins. This was the first one. And then the second one, I have a large crock pot and then I have a smaller crock pot. So first we just used the large one and did this one. And then we were like, ooh, that was fun. Let's do some more. So then we put 2 in and we just kind of like doused it in food coloring. We kind of we were trying to go for like a less, like this one's kind of crazy and like all over the place. So we're kind of going for like a less crazy, not so all over the place kind of look. Of course, we don't know what we're doing. He's 4 and I have no clue what I'm doing. So we kind of just get a little less of the food coloring everywhere. But then they turned out with a lot of white on them. So that night I decided to go back and just kind of add in like a basic watered down, lighter version of a different color just to kind of take some of that white out. So I kind of like, they had the vibrant sparks all over it. And then I kind of just went back. Like this one, I went back with this like yellow, greeny yellow color. So like everything, there was a lot of white space. Like you can see that all that yellow was like white. You can see it's like all radioactive neon yellow. But yeah, it was all white. But I decided I just didn't like the white. So I went back and stuck her back in the pot and put in some watered down yellow. And then, yeah, it came out like this. And I decided that it was called Radioactive Rainbow because I just like the name and the alliteration. And then the same thing that happened with this. So these were actually dyed at the same time. They looked identical almost until I added this one yellow and I added turquoise to this one. So this one, you can kind of see my skeins are a mess. I'm terrible at this. They're all, yeah. This one's a mess. When I took photos of them, Ellie started crying and screaming. And then I had to kind of like just like jam them in a bag so that I could go pick her up because she was asleep, and then I was taking photos, and then she woke up. So then I had to go grab her. So I kind of just like shoved everything I was, doing in a bag, and then kind of got mixed up. But yeah, that's that color. I didn't have a name for this one yet. I'll think of one. And then the last skein we did that day was this one. So this one I did by myself. My son kind of lost interest after the first 3 and went and played Minecraft. So this one I kind of just did myself. I wanted to make turquoise. So then I added some turquoise, but then it kind of evolved from there. And then it got some orange and some pink. And then I just kind of added some purple spots just for good measure because, purple always makes everything better. So yeah. Kind of neat looking. Kind of reminds me of a sunset with turquoise in it. Not a whole lot of turquoise sunsets, but other than the turquoise, it reminds me of a sunset. See, like, I'm so bad at this. Like, You guys can just like watch me struggle at like putting these skeins into a ah, there we go. Kind of back together. Terrible at it. So yeah, that was the first 4 that I did. And that was really fun. And I kind of got addicted and I wanted to continue dyeing, but I had to go to sleep because yeah, it was getting late. So I came back a couple days later and tried to do some more dyeing. So I wanted to try out like the 4 that I had done in the first round. We'll call it a round. Were super bright. And super like basically just took the food coloring and poured it right onto the yarn. So I wanted to kind of play around with doing something that was less colorful and kind of more pastel-y, more, toned down. So then I decided that I wanted to do 2 because I wanted to be able to make something. I kind of had a vision in my head of like a pinky, purpley, turquoisey, watercolor, kind of light pastel-y yarn. It was in my head anyway. So I wanted 2 of them because I was like, I could make something out of this. Maybe I'll make like a tank or something out of it for summer. So then I tried that out and it didn't exactly turn out the way I intended it to, but I really love the way it turned out. You can kind of see that it's like a greeny, turquoisey color, and then it's got some pinks and purples kind of mixed in there. There's 2. Look how terrible these are skeined up. I really should have like made these prettier before I showed you them, but that's okay. But yeah. My husband came up with a name for this one. He calls it sour watermelon because it reminds him of the sour watermelon candies, which are delicious. So yeah, I really like those ones. And then after that, I decided that I wanted to try doing some solid colors because everything I had done was just kind of like chucking color around, and I wanted to do something that was more solid. So I wanted to do a turquoise. So I put a whole bunch of dye, green and blue dye, into the pot, and then put the yarn in. And this was the first one, but then this one didn't absorb all the color. So then I was like, well, I have enough dye in here. Like this is going to be super, I don't want it to be super dark. So maybe I'll stick a second skein in and see what happens. So funny thing, this is the second skein that I stuck into the exact same pot. So obviously I don't know anything about chemistry or how dyes take into yarn or anything, but obviously the green was the first one and the blue, like obviously the green, it took more of the green initially and then more of the blue was left behind in the pot. So when I stuck the second skein in, it obviously got more of the blue. So isn't it kind of neat that they ended up so different? Like one's green, one's blue. They're still beautiful and I love them, but yeah, this is really pretty with this color. Yeah, but then after that, I was at my vaccine. I got my vaccine at the pharmacy. I was walking down the aisle and I kind of walked past and like did a double take. And then I turned back and I found Kool-Aid powder, which I've been looking for forever to try and be able to dye some yarn. So I found the Kool-Aid powder at the pharmacy, which was kind of like in the like nostalgia, like odd stuff section. So like I grabbed a bunch of it. Because I wanted to try and do some speckling with, because obviously the food coloring is a liquid, so I wanted to be able to try and do something with the powder. So then I made this one. So this one here is just the bare yarn with speckles of food coloring. It's hard to see, but I just used a bunch of different kinds of, or not food coloring, Kool-Aid, a bunch of different kinds of Kool-Aid and just like speckled her on there. Just like chucked it in, kind of like flipped her around and chucked it in again. Yeah, just speckly. But yeah, I really love it. It's super pretty. I love all the speckles. And it smells like Kool-Aid, which is amazing. Even though I washed it, it still smells like Kool-Aid. My entire house smelled like Kool-Aid for like 2 days. It was amazing. I was making like sugar-free Kool-Aid soup. It was epic. So yeah, that's when it's completely made with just Kool-Aid powder. And then I kind of had this idea that we have the, the liquid Kool-Aid. Like Kool-Aid now you can get in like the water enhancer, and it comes with, it's like sugar-free, and you just put a little bit in your water and it kind of flavors your water. We have a bunch of that at our house, and we had one that was grape that we got with our grocery order once that no one in our house will drink grape. So I kind of was like, I wonder if I could like dye yarn with just this like water enhancer stuff, because every time I use it, it dyes my hands. If I like spill it on anything, it like dyes my hands, and my son has definitely spilled it on the couch several times, and it's dyed my couch for sure. So yeah, I wanted to see what I could do with that. So I took a pink watermelon Kool-Aid liquid and a grape, and just kind of like squirted it all in. And this is what I came up with. It's really pretty. I don't think the light's really picking it up as good as it is. You can see it on my Instagram pictures. The color is a little bit more accurate, but yeah, you can see it's like a pinky, reddy, purpley kind of color. And then I just kind of took a little bit of the blue Kool-Aid that I had, because I just thought that it needed a little something else. So I took a little bit of the blue Kool-Aid powder that I had and sprinkled some of that in there too. So it's got a little bit of blue in it in some places, and some speckled. But yeah, super fun. Who knew you could dye yarn with water enhancer? I didn't. Also, it smells really good too. But yeah, how neat is that? Love it. So now I'm completely and utterly addicted to dyeing yarn, which is not a good thing, because at some point you actually need to knit the yarn, or you just have piles and piles of yarn around, which technically I'm not opposed to, because I already have a million skeins of yarn in my house. But technically my house is only so big, and there are 4 of us living in it now, so it's not like I have a lot of extra yarn space. So I'm kind of trying to decide if I want to keep all of these, or if I want to start giving some away or selling them to people, to friends, if I want to make an Etsy store and kind of put some up on Etsy. I'm not really sure exactly what I want to do, but I do think that I'm kind of hooked now, and that I'm going to have to get some acid dyes and start playing with some real dye powder and see what I can come up with, which I'm super excited about. I still have 10 skeins left that I'll probably just keep doing with the food coloring, and then next time I order more yarn, I'll probably get some acid dyes. Which I also needed to get a new crock pot, because the used crock pot that I bought also leaks everywhere, which is fabulous. So yeah. I think I need to get some more used crock pots. And the more crock pots I have, the more I can do at one time, which is optimal when you don't get a lot of time. And the only time you do get is either when you're also carrying around a baby, or your baby is sleeping and you're hoping that she continues sleeping while you're playing with color. But yeah, I'm totally in love with all my yarns. I have absolutely no clue what I'm going to do with them. I've definitely had a few people say, oh, I like that one. I love that one. Can I have that one? Or I want that one. You should sell them. But I don't know if I can part with them. All you yarn dyers out there, is this a common thing? Like when you dye, you spend all the time dyeing the yarn, do you like fall in love with it and then never want to get rid of it? Like how do you get over that? How do you I love them so much. I want to see what they look like knit up. I want to knit them. I don't know if I can just not knit them myself, although chances are I can't actually knit them myself either because I only have so much time. I have 2 kids and eventually a full-time job to go back to when I'm done mat leave. So I don't really know. I don't know. Maybe I'll start an Etsy store and put some on Etsy and see what happens. We'll see. I am a little addicted now. I kind of want to dye all the time. Like every day. All the time. Just have pots of dye going on my kitchen table, crock pots. I need more crock pots though. If I get like 5 or 6 crock pots, then I can do a whole bunch at once, which will be way more fun. But yeah, that was kind of my big event for the last couple of weeks, was my adventure into dyeing, which I'm super excited about. I really just love smelling these Kool-Aid ones. They smell like Kool-Aid, which smells so good. But yeah, that was my adventure. Like I said, a lot of dyeing, not a lot of knitting. So I've also started working a little bit on a new design, but it is not something I'm going to disclose at this moment. So yeah, I'm not really talking about that. So I do have another work in progress that I'm working on, but it's kind of just something I'm playing around with and trying to figure out for a design. So yeah, that will be shown in time. But yeah, it's been an uneventful couple weeks. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep. My daughter has turned into, she used to, in her first couple months of life, she used to take, good 3-hour naps. Her naps were like 3 hours long. She'd be passed out. She'd be a good sleeper. And now she just doesn't seem to want to sleep. So she'll like sleep for like 10 minutes and then she'll wake up and she'll be good. It's not faring well for me. So I don't get much done during the day. And then when she does fall asleep, it's usually on me. And if she falls asleep on me, then she'll sleep for longer. But if I move her or try to put her down anywhere, then she'll wake up. But she does sleep a little bit better at night. She sleeps for a couple hours at least, but usually not by 4 or 5, which is brutal because I'm stubborn and probably should be going to bed, when she goes down, when my son goes down for bed at like 7 or 8 o'clock. But instead I stay up and knit, or try to anyway. And then, yeah, by the time I get to bed, it's like 12 o'clock and then she's up at, 1 and then 3 and then 5. And then she's up for good for the day. So I get a couple hours of sleep a night. I've been running on that for a couple weeks. So my brain's a little fried. I'm not exactly in optimal thinking. I'm pretty much just running on fumes and coffee at this point. But yeah, dyeing has been super fun. And it's kind of been just a way to creatively do something and actually I kind of have enjoyed the actual like physical movement because I love knitting, but I sit on the couch a lot with my daughter and breastfeed and nurse her, and then she falls asleep on me, and then I'm kind of stuck on the couch, and then so I spend a lot of time just kind of sitting. So I really enjoyed like just dyeing and like getting up and moving around and physically doing something other than sitting on my couch. So it's still creative, but at the same time it was something a little different anyways. But I'm going to continue dyeing and see where it goes. I don't know. I guess I have to put a lot of thought into whether I want to put some things up on Etsy or just keep them, or I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. Any of you guys that are dyers out there, how did you get into dyeing? Did you just like learn to, start dyeing and get addicted and then just start putting things on Etsy because you had too much yarn and you didn't know what to do with it all? Or did you like intentionally set out to make a business selling yarn? I'm really not sure if I want to do that. Well, I definitely don't want to do it right now, but right now I'm on mat leave. I can't actually make money. So, but I definitely could once I'm off mat leave. So yeah, maybe. Who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait and see what the next couple months brings and what the future of Purl Passion holds, I guess. Maybe in the future there'll be Purl Passion yarns. So I hope you guys have a great next 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll have some more knitting to show you guys next podcast, because I don't have a whole lot this week, but yeah. So I hope you guys have a great 2 weeks. Stay safe. If you can't get your vaccination, do it. It's a great thing. I highly recommend it. My arm was a little sore for one day, but it's all good now. My son got a vaccination yesterday. He didn't really. He's 4, so he was kind of confused about it, but he knew that mommy and daddy got vaccinations, so he kind of thought it was for the same thing, but really he was just getting his booster that you're supposed to get at 4. But he kind of felt like he was getting one too. But yeah, it went okay. He got upset for sure, but it wasn't too bad. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to say goodnight, and I will talk to you guys again in 2 weeks with more yarn and more knitting, and yeah, stay safe.